Hi, welcome back to my channel. I am back with a tarot reading for the collective. And so there's been a little while since I've done any readings. Today I decided to try to do one outside, even though it's starting to get kind of cold and a little bit uninviting. But I really feel that this is relevant for the reading. It feels like we're in a period where the external is going to get less and less inviting for many of you. That's what I feel. It's almost as if, the snow is starting to cover the land here. And if I look up at the sky, it's completely cloudy. It's just white. So it's like the ground is white and the sky is white. And so it's almost like I'm in a blanked out space. But then if I tune inwards and I look deeper into the earth and I look kind of like above the clouds, there is a lot of things happening, a lot of changes taking place. So if I look at the ground, it's almost like on the surface, the feminine, the earth, she appears to be really kind of frozen and cold and, non-receptive. But if I go deeper towards the core, there has been so many changes there. What I see is that the core has changed from being kind of like a golden yellow tone to a completely blue, like beautiful, like light blue frequency. And now that blue light is just expanding and expanding more and more and more. And to me, the blue light symbolizes Christ consciousness. It is the consciousness of peace and of truth and of just alignment with the 5D, with the heavens, if you will. And so it feels like it's almost as if the heaven and hell, the old myth of heaven and hell, they have switched places, and heaven is now inside the feminine. It used to be above the clouds, in the sky, in the masculine, but now it has moved into the feminine. And so that's why I feel like we feel this pull, this need to shift the way we use our consciousness. In the past, what led to success was really using the mind, the sky, the clouds. These are mind-based, or it symbolizes the mind. But now that is almost like that's become hell. That's become outdated. And what's really going to benefit us is to grow this type of consciousness that is very much linked with deep earth, whatever that means to you, the core of the earth. Sorry, I have a hair in my mouth. But this type of consciousness, I think, can be developed in many ways. I talked a little bit about the importance of shamanism and connecting to the land, but I really also feel like the ancestry lines, connecting to your ancestors feels so important right now. And I'm gonna say something that my ego is really resisting, but I'm just gonna say it. And that is that, especially for those that live in the US, it feels like connecting to your ancestry line, connecting to your ancestors that lived in other countries, unless you're native, like that lived in other countries than the US, is becoming vital. Because what I'm feeling is that the US of A was kind of created on the old masculine archetype. It was the light, it was the land of the free, the heavens, the new heavens. But now, as that era has come to an end, heaven has turned into hell. And so to be able to kind of create some kind of balance and create some kind of stability, it's important, I feel, that at least for yourself, that you begin to connect to your ancestors that have links to the land, other lands in particular. Of course, if you're Native American, it's very, very different. Than probably this time is going to feel like a time of extreme liberation and justice in many ways. But for those of you that are descendants of immigrants, yeah, that's a message that I just felt like sharing now. So let's put that to the side and call in some more collective messages. What is important for us? Okay, it's coming back in again, that thing with the US of A. And what I'm getting is that in a way it is important for all of us, because that template, that culture of really, you know, moving forward, being really mind-based, being really kind of desire-based as well, that has spread across the world. And so it is influencing all of us. And it's just that that type of consciousness is no longer gonna offer us stability, is what I'm feeling. It's becoming really, really detrimental. And there's a need to connect to something that predates that that template. That's what I'm feeling. And so that's why I think that many of us feel this need to go back in time, to connect to more ancient practices and understandings and ways of seeing reality. Okay. Queen of Swords underneath the deck. And behind her is the Tower. Very interesting. And the card flew out. Oh, interesting. Landed in reverse as well. It's the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Oh my god. Okay. What I'm hearing is that what goes up must come down, and now it's time to go down. So again, that message, and also with the Tower, you know, the old towers breaking apart. So that message of kind of going down into the earth is really coming back. And if you've ever done shamanistic practices, that is what you kind of see yourself doing to get into that level of consciousness. You just imagine yourself kind of going down a stairway that takes you into the earth. And it's a way of getting in, it's a way of telling your brain that you want it to get into a deeper state of consciousness. And so if you do it over time, if you practice it over time, it becomes very kind of automatic, very easy to do it. Of course, in the beginning, you know, the ego will come in and be like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. And then you just say, yeah, that's fine. You don't like, that's fine. I know. And then just continue to go down. And after a while, the ego quiets. So my battery ran out. Luckily, I had the second one. I was well prepared this time. But it's something about that, you know, it's like batteries running out, and when I was trying to turn on my camera again, I just kept getting the message on the screen like the motive is too dark, you know, what you're trying to film, it's too dark. And so it's something about that I feel there is a lot of fear within us in regards to this deeper state of consciousness, because it is in a sense dark. We have been taught that it's negative, and it can be, you know, it's not a joke. it is to be treated with respect. It's wild. It's our wild, dark nature. And so it's not like it's not a joke. But there is something about that. Also, my own ego being really resistant towards sharing these messages, because I think, like, my ego thinks like, oh, they're too dark, you know, they're not encouraging, inspiring, things like that. It's just, it's too grave and it's too dark. But I don't know, I just feel like it's time to go there now. That now it's time, because it will benefit us as a collective. So let's see if we can get any more messages. Oh, so many cards coming out here. Underneath the deck is the Hierophant, first of all. So this has been a year of the Hierophant, 2021. And it's almost like this is the year where we begun to build our own masculine, where we begun to build our own spiritual light within. And this energy is going to follow us in the next couple of years. The nodes are shifting into the Scorpio-Taurus axis, and this is, of course, a card of Taurus. So I feel like this is going to be a key. The ability to bring light to different and new places within yourself, within your own earth. It's like underlying everything is what I feel. It's underlying everything. So let's see the cards that came out. Interesting. Two of Cups. So it's this ability to bring light down. Oh, and underneath the Hierophant was the Four of Pentacles as well. So we're very much about creating this inner stability and light, and, you know, your own zone, a zone where you are the authority. And this feels like the foundation to creating relationships that are not codependent, you know, where both people have their own cup and they don't kind of necessarily feed off of each other energy all of the time, but they it's like they add to each other instead. And then the next card is Judgment. I feel like this is the return of old timelines coming up to the surface. You know, it's time for reviewing them. So this card, I mean, it is a card that happens when we die. It's like we go into this state where we review our life. And now we are in such a period of death. And so it's almost like we're doing this work, but we're doing it while still being alive. And that's why I also feel like this needing to let go of the old masculine, our old consciousness, and start to move back into the feminine. You know, it's like we're going back to the womb, this holding place, so that we can do this reviewing of our life up until this moment and learn from it. And it's almost as if we're able to bring understanding and light and just healing to that, then we will ask to be reborn. It's like we will call in a new life, and we will just go through this transformation period. But there are also those that might choose to, you know, end it and leave the earth. And if that happens, it's almost as if it happens because of the lacking ability to bring light and understanding to the past, to these karmic events and these traumas and these things that we've gone through. So here we have the Empress as well, also came out. So part of this, the Hierophant and the Empress, it's Taurus, both cards of Taurus. Because the Earth, traditionally, the feminine, she has been unconscious. It's like nature has not been self-aware. It just expresses itself without, it doesn't need consciousness to express itself. But now it feels like we're moving into a time where, at least for humans, it's creation through being aware. Conscious creation is happening. And so we cannot just, it's almost like we're gonna be more and more blocked from just expressing ourselves, from just letting nature, our nature, drive us. We have to bring light to it first. We have to understand these drives, these urges that comes from deep within ourselves. And when we do, I don't know, it's just gonna change us. It's like we're gonna build another layer to our brain that is in awe, I'm hearing, of the feminine. And so when we act, it's like we're gonna act with this deep sense of just devotion is what I'm hearing. And that's so beautiful, oh my God, and with the Two of Cups as well. Like, because this, I think, again, this is what, when we go through the twin flame thing and when we stay attached to that energy and learn from it, it's like we learn a lot of these things on how to create relationships that are built on devotion. Because that has to be real, it has to be true. It cannot be fake. We cannot fake this. We cannot fake unconditional love. It has to be built on this deep, deep sense of understanding, of seeing why things are the way that they are, so that we can forgive the things that needs to be forgiven. And so I feel just this push happening with all of these energies and with the Judgment card, to begin to see the unconscious earth and what it has created up until this point. When we just let our dark nature drive us without bringing light to it first. Because it's this awareness that is going to help us to step into something completely new, like a completely new template. It's like we're building a new part of our brain, like physically. We're building a new technology within our brain. And so I think maybe that's why it's like we feel the need to go back to the womb, to go back to quiet places where we can let our body also invest into growing itself, into this new state that it's trying to reach. And so I feel like everything is just orchestrating for us. It's like everything is coming together right now, looking at the events externally. And it feels like it's going to give us space to do this work if we choose to take it. So I think I'm going to end it there. I hope this reading was helpful. Take care, and I speak to you soon. Bye.